Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have discussed the topic role of microorganisms in our life in brief. Today, we will go ahead and we'll discuss about the role of microorganisms in our life as our friends. So, there are so many activities in our day to day life where we observe their presence as a beneficial aspect. For example, the first is that curd and cheese formation. We all of us are fond to consume curd, but if we try to understand how the formation of curd takes place, we have to consider the aspect regarding the transformation of milk into curd. So how the milk is transformed into curd? We observe at our homes that whenever lukewarm milk is taken and in which small amount of curd is added, so within the curd certain bacteria named lactobacillus is present, which helps to transform the milk sugar, which is lactose, into lactic acid. So it helps to transform the milk sugar lactose into lactic acid, so that the formation of curd takes place by adding a small amount of curd in lukewarm milk. So we observe the taste of the milk is sweet due to presence of sugar is named lactose, whereas the curd its taste sour due to the presence of acid, which is named lactic acid. As well as there are certain bacteria and fungi also involved in the formation of cheese from the milk. Now we'll go through the second aspect as beneficial aspect, which is fermentation process in bakery. So if we try to understand how the dosa or idli they are made, we may observe that the rice and pulses which are soaked for 6 to 8 hours in water, afterwards they are grinded and batter is being prepared by that grinding process. So if the batter would be used immediately to make idli or dosa, the concerned product or the idli or dosa would not be so much fluffy or soft. But whenever the batter is left undisturbed for certain hours, what do we observe? After certain time, the volume of the batter also increases and the idli or dosa, whatever is made from that particular batter, it becomes soft and fluffy, making it more easy to digest. So that is the reason behind, due to the formation of carbon dioxide gas, which is released while the addition of yeast granules within the batter, which transforms the cereal sugar into the carbon dioxide gas. So the same process is used in the bakery industry for making breads, cakes, biscuits, pizza bases, etc. And the name is called as fermentation. The third aspect, which is alcoholic beverages. So here also the use of certain microbes are beneficial for the production of beverages. If we may consume bread, chapati, or rice, if we chew it, it tastes sweeter in our mouth. The reason is behind due to presence of certain sugar, which is cereal sugar present within it, which is maltose. And if the same is being treated in the presence of yeast granules, these yeast, they are a special type of fungi. When they are added to cereal sugar, they convert it into certain types of alcohol. So many microorganisms, they are used in the manufacture of alcohol, wine, or acetic acid. Like fungi like yeast, they convert this cereal sugar, which is maltose, into alcohol, and which afterwards is used to make alcoholic beverages. So acetic acid, which is also commonly called as vinegar, is also produced in the same way. The next, fourth aspect, which is as sewage treatment. So certain life forms of bacteria, they are used in the biological treatment of sewage and industrial waste, which is called as effluent, and they are treated by these forms of bacteria, which transforms or which removes the harmful substances dissolved within the sewage water or industrial waste water, and they undergoes through the process of bioaugmentation, through which that certain pollutants are removed, and afterwards the sewage or industrial waste is being treated, and afterward it can be released into any of the water body, thus helping to decrease the pollution in any of the water body or environment. Now we'll discuss about the role of microbes in human health. The first point, that is, they are present in our alimentary canal. So certain forms of bacteria, they are present in our large intestine, which helps in the proper bowel movement, means it helps in the proper muscular movement within the intestine for the easy passage of the matter present within the large intestine. Whereas there are certain bacteria also present within the junction between the small intestine and large intestine, called as cecum, in which these bacteria are present, which helps in the proper digestion of the cellulosic diet, because the ruminants, which we have discussed in class 7, they consume mostly cellulosic diet, means the leaves of plants in which cellulose is present. In our case, the cellulose cannot be digested. It acts as fibers or roughage. We have discussed about that also in class 6 and 7, that the cellulosic diet in our case, it helps in the proper bowel movement. But in the case of ruminants, they are the main diet and they are digested by the certain bacteria present within the cecum, which is a part in between the small intestine and large intestine. Now the second point, that is production of antibiotics. From the word we have to split the meaning. Anti means opposite and biotics means life forms. So these are certain types of chemicals derived from certain life forms, which act as an inhibitory effect upon the life forms of certain bacteria or fungi. So, for example, the antibiotic penicillin has been discovered by the product derived from a special fungus named Penicillium notatum. So these antibiotics, they are having an inhibitory effect upon the growth of other harmful microorganisms by affecting their life processes. So many different types of antibiotics do we know these days, which all are derived by certain bacteria or fungi. But one most important aspect is that these antibiotics, they are effective only against any bacterial or fungal diseases, whereas they are not applicable against any viral diseases. The reason is behind because the virus is not having its own cell machinery, because virus, they uses the machinery of the host, so the antibiotics cannot be used against any viral diseases. There are so many different diverse types of antibiotics which are used in the treatment of tuberculosis, cholera, typhoid, etc. But we have to be much cautious about that. Whenever it has to be taken, it has to be taken under the advice of a qualified physician. Now we'll discuss the third point, that certain microbes, they stimulates in the production of antibodies. So what are antibodies? They are a special type of protective proteins. So whenever any life form like bacteria or viruses, they enter the body, they are recognized by a special kind of cells which are present in our blood, most probably within the white blood cells, and these cells get stimulated to produce these protective proteins which are known as antibodies. And these antibodies, they help to identify and they help to destroy such pathogens, or we may say the disease causing germs. So there is one more important process, that during this process the body remembers the type of microbe entering the body, and whenever the same microorganism enters the body again, it gets recognized by the certain cells called as memory cells, which helps to destroy that particular microbe in a faster and a bigger rate. So this process is called immunity, which means the natural ability of an organism having an inbuilt mechanism to resist and destroy the pathogens. So this is an important mechanism within the body of life form which helps to save the individual in the planet, because we are always surrounded by different types of pathogens and which help us to protect us from these pathogens. So one more related topic to it is vaccination. So vaccination is an important way to build immunity. So we hear many of the times, we observe at our homes also, may that if there are certain younger family members, they are in the, we can say, in the childhood stage or like that, so that they are provided with certain vaccines, they are administered with certain vaccines, and the vaccine, it helps to increase the immunity of the person. So what we can say, the vaccine produces immunity to a disease by just stimulating the production of antibodies. So whenever the vaccines, they are injected or they are provided to the individual. They helps in the production of antibodies. And what are vaccines? If you may consider vaccines, they are suspensions of killed or weakened microbes, or maybe the products of microbes, or maybe the derivatives of microbes, and whenever they are administered through the method within the body, they helps in the production of protective proteins known as antibodies. So now these days we are very much familiar about the disease corona, that we all are waiting for the discover of the vaccine to help to get rid of the particular disease. So the most common method of administering the vaccine is by inoculation, whereas in certain cases it is given orally also. For example, the polio vaccine, we know about that polio is a, we can say, disorder arise due to virus which causes disruption in the nervous system, mostly in the neuromuscular system, and the vaccine which is given as through oral method, so which is called as oral polio vaccine. So certain vaccines, they are administered through inoculation, may that we can understand simply by injections within the muscles, for example measles or like that. So some other diseases, hepatitis, etc., whereas certain vaccines, they are given through oral method. So one more important fact is that Edward Jenner was an English doctor who pioneered the vaccination program, and he discovered in 1796 that inoculation with cowpox gave immunity to smallpox, and it was an immense medical breakthrough, and he saved countless lives. So what he did, that he observed the milkmen who were carrying the cattle suffering from cowpox disease. They didn't suffer from the smallpox disease. Both were the viral diseases, and he observed when the persons who were caring for the same cowpox disease infected cattle, whenever they were kept in contact with the patient suffering from smallpox disease, they didn't suffer from the smallpox disease. So he observed and he did the experiment that he inoculated with the cowpox virus to the patient, providing the immunity against the smallpox disease. So like this, the smallpox has been now eradicated from all over the world, and like this we have tried to discover the vaccine. So till so far here, thank you, have a nice day.